Ladies, if you don't mind, could you introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about you and how you became involved with the working with the FBI? And we're going to start with Monique.
Good morning. Thank you for asking. My name is Supervisory Special Agent Monique Crump, and as far as my upbringing, I was born and raised in Boston, Massachusetts, actually in a couple of areas, smaller areas of the city, an area called Roxbury and an area called the South End. If you know anything about those areas, there are several housing projects in those areas, a couple of which I grew up in, one Cathedral Projects as well as Mission Hill. And just because they were central to my decisions growing up and central to just how I made decisions, how I just my determination, I guess, for doing what I did. So I grew up in Boston, Massachusetts. I went on to go to school in Newport, Rhode Island, where I earned my master's degree in criminal justice, as well as a minor in international law and political science, where I also played basketball at my university. And they were very generous to me as far as grants and scholarships. And I only ended up owing for my master's degree. So I was grateful for that. I went on to, well, I guess maybe I'll stop there. And I'll wait for more questions after that, because I think we'll get that later. So.
Okay. Yes, thank you. And Luz, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Luz Macias, and I am from here, El Paso, Texas, born and raised here. I did leave for a few years to the military and really enjoyed that. I'm the one of three, first one to graduate college, first one to join the military, only girl. I have two younger brothers.
Mhm.
And I served for about 8.5 years. And FBI has always been in the back of my mind since elementary. And I always pursued it. It was always in the back of my mind. And I believe everything that throughout my career paths, it eventually, led to me working for FBI. And uh, I, I feel like I accomplished where I wanted to be, who I wanted to work for in the end.
Okay, great. So, of course, we know that this month is Women's Veterans Month. So, thank you both for your service, and that's why you're here. We do have women veterans in the community who would like to know more about the FBI. So, we're hoping that they can get the information that they need from you and your experience, also. So Monique, you don't mind me saying Monique, or should I say Supervisory Special Agent?
No, please. If you don't call me Monique, then I don't know if I'll answer. Please.
Okay. Well, when did you decide to join the military, and which branch of the service, and how long did you serve?
So I decided after college, to be honest with you, because when I was about 12 or 13, I knew that I wanted to join the FBI. So I knew at a young age, because of the area I grew up in and how I grew up and just all the adversity I had faced growing up. And that's why I mentioned it in the beginning, just because it was just central to my decision. So I knew I wanted to give back. I knew I wanted to serve, and I knew I wanted to serve in the FBI. But I also knew, even after graduating with my first master's, because I have two master's degrees, when I graduated my first master's, I knew that I had book knowledge, I had street knowledge, I had some other skill sets that I could offer, but I didn't have, other than sports, I and serving as captain on teams or what have you. I didn't have leadership experience. I didn't have a lot of cultural awareness as far as other cultures. I didn't have a lot of travel experience. I hadn't gone anywhere other than the projects, other than where my college town was. I hadn't experienced other cultures. I think I may have gone to Canada one time to play in a basketball tournament, and that was about it. So, I mean, we're talking over the border, barely. Um, and I just knew I needed more. I needed more challenges in my life to prepare myself for what my ultimate goal was, which was the FBI. And I wanted what I thought was the most challenging armed services force, and that was the Marine Corps. No offense to my colleague,
Not taken.
but I joined the Marine Corps, and I moved to North Carolina after grad school. 9 months after, 9 months after moving to North Carolina, where I knew no one. I had no family. I had no support structure. I had nothing. I had some money in the bank from a summer job that I worked after college. So I had a couple months worth of rent. And so it was on a wing and a prayer and some determination that I just moved to North Carolina. And about 9 months later, I joined the Marine Corps as an officer and went to OCS, my first trip to Quantico. And to get and that hopefully that travel experience and that cultural just exposure and just the challenges that I knew I may not have gotten otherwise or received otherwise. So,
okay. And how long did you serve in the Marines?
I served for just shy of 5 years.
Okay, just shy of 5 years. So I guess that leads me to my next question of how and why you decided to pursue becoming an agent with the FBI.
Well, my background had a lot to do with it. It really is that heart for service and just wanting to give back and wanting to pull others up from where they are and hopefully divert folks from making decisions that don't end well, but also just protecting folks from poor choices of others. But I have to say service was central to it. And the Marine Corps just really reinforced that too for me. Serving in the Marine Corps really made me know that I wanted to do what I wanted to do in the first place. It made me know that I really wanted to continue to serve. And the FBI, I thought that I could have like more of a global impact as opposed to becoming a local law enforcement officer with the credentials I had before I joined the Marine Corps. So I thought the FBI would be probably the best place for me. It was a very prestigious organization too. So it was more of a challenge for me. And I thought, I never met an FBI agent who looked like me before either. So I didn't know if I could do it, but I was definitely going to try.
Wow.
Definitely going to try.
Oh. And how long have you been an agent? Okay.
I've been an agent just over 16 years now.
Okay. And for those women, and I know I'm probably adding a few questions. I don't want to take up too much of the time, but for those women, because like you said, you hadn't seen many agents that look like you. With that being said, for women who do look like you now and who may be on the fence because of that, what would you say to them about that?
I would say, don't be deterred by the fact that you might be the only one from where you are, by the fact that someone may say, hey, but you're the first, or you can't, or it's might be hard, you know what I mean? Get your information for yourself. You know what I mean? Do your research, seek out an FBI recruiter. But first of all, know yourself, know who you are, know what skills you offer as a veteran, I would say, because there are a lot of things that we bring to the table as veterans that the FBI benefits from on a daily basis. There's a certain style of leadership that I think that we bring to the FBI that other folks in the corporate sector don't necessarily. I'm not saying that they don't value it; they just don't. They don't necessarily teach it as part of their core, just their core curriculum, if you will. So I think there are certain experiences that you'll experience that you can bring that no one else will. So just know yourself first before you seek those opportunities. And then if you do, stay focused, be patient with it. I remember when I first went to the FBI recruiting office and I took my phase 1 exam and I passed it. There, and then it sat on the shelf for about 3 years. And for someone who wanted to do this for 12 to 13 years, I mean, since they were 12 or 13, and had worked so hard up until that point, this was after the Marine Corps. This was after college and everything. It was devastating. I thought maybe I would have to shift from that way of thinking. Like my dream was not only deferred, it was denied. I was thinking that. But had it not been for another recruiter to come along and dust off my package, and probably a little divine intervention, I may not be here. I mean, she took my package. She looked at it. Not much had changed. I'd been a stay-at-home mom. The only thing that changed is I had 2 kids instead of 1 at this point. And before I knew it, within several months, I was on my way to Quantico again, to the FBI Academy. So I would just say, be patient, know yourself, stay focused, and just go for it. And appreciate what you bring as a veteran, and make sure you can articulate those qualities and those skill sets when you show up at the FBI recruiter office.
Wow. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you for sharing that. And Miss Luz, tell us about what made you decide to join the military, and which branch, and how long did you serve in the military?
I was exposed to the military at a very young age, right after high school. I married a soldier, traveled with him, and experienced the military life from the dependent side of it. And even though I wanted to join myself, it was a little bit of a challenge with my spouse already being in the military and etc. So I focused on my school, taking classes here and there, and working. However, a few years into him being in the military, we ended up divorcing, and that honestly was, to me, like a no choice. I was like, you know what? I've been exposed to the military. I like it. I'm going to go for it. I wanted to finish my school, and I said, what better way than for me to go into the military and do it myself? If he can do it, I can do it. And so I went in. I enjoyed it. I liked it. Like Monique said, you experience experiences that you wouldn't otherwise if you were not in the military, from different cultures, from leadership skills, from management skills, just an abundance of lessons that you learn, and I believe in the end make you stronger. And you do, even just coming out of a basic training, you feel stronger. You feel like, wow, if I was able to do that and go through that, I think I can do, quite a bit of few things, brings up your confidence. And even though I didn't want to leave the military, I was in a position where I had a young child at the time, and father wasn't military. So we agreed, it was time for me to get out. And, at that time I was a little sad about it, but I look back now and I'm like, if I wouldn't have left, I wouldn't be working for FBI. And FBI is who I really, in the, like Monique said, you get that desire, I think, at a young age. And I remember that since elementary, and it always stayed in the back of my mind. And I was like, I would love to be, an FBI agent. I would love to, work for them. And, such a prestigious organization. And you're like, you just leave it in the back of your mind. And once I started looking into it a little bit, once I was in the military, and my first goal was to finish my school. I was like, well, first goal is to finish school. And I looked into the requirements, and I said, well, I think I can do that, even though you do get, friends and family that, kind of tell you, well, they kind of discourage you a little bit and saying, well, you might not make it. It takes a lot, and you have to be really smart, and they kind of make you feel like you're not gonna make it. And I never let that get to me. As far as my goal was like, well, I'll try, and if I make it, I make it. If I don't, I don't. And soon after I received my bachelor's and finished I have a dual master's, and I went ahead and I left the military. I started working for civil service. I knew I wanted to get into civil service. I started there. Once I saw the opportunity where FBI recruited, the agent position came open, I went ahead and applied for it and went through the whole process. And believe it or not, as I passed each step, I was like, oh my goodness, everything's going smooth. I figured, wow, I'm here, it's meant to be. And I did come in as an agent. I reported to Quantico. And unfortunately for me, I got hurt in Quantico, and I wasn't, after that, I wasn't able to recover from my injuries well enough to go back and do the physical part of it and continue my agent training. However, I was offered an administrative position, which I have learned so much, and I have come to appreciate it on the admin mission support side of it, mission services, on what we do, how we help the agents, with their cases, just from a small, thing that we do, helps the organization so much, especially in our small field office. To me, it was just learning about what the FBI is about, from our reception area to, getting our mail, and amongst other things. I've been in a couple of different squads now, and I've been exposed to a little bit of the intel squads and what they do and how they help out, the other squads with the intel information that they need. I just went ahead and started helping out with the human squad, and I'm learning a little bit on how that helps out with our agents. And before that, I was with the white collar crime squad, and I've been enjoying it. I have learned so much, different than what I came in to do, but I have really enjoyed it. In the end, I look back and I was like, well, I feel I accomplished my dream job. I'm still working for FBI, and even when you say that to family or friends or people that don't know you, they're, to them, it's like, oh my God, you work for FBI. It doesn't matter what you do. They look at you like, oh my goodness, you work for FBI. And, I'm really proud. I'm really proud to be working for this organization. I'm really happy that I was able to accomplish to be working, for an organization like this, and look back and feel like, well, it wasn't meant for me to be an agent, but I was meant to still be here and help out in a different way. And, of course, any veteran, especially women veteran, there's a few of us just, amongst, everywhere, and definitely encourage them to join, apply, and, don't feel like you can't make it, or, oh no, I'm not smart enough. You're not going to know until you try. You're not going to know until you try. And if you want it, you'll go for it.
And how long have you been with the FBI?
I've been with the FBI 6 years, last month.
6 years. Well, and again, thank you for your service too.
Oh, you're welcome.
I'm my sister is a Marine. She was Army. She said Army wasn't tough enough for her, so she wanted to she became a Marine. So I don't know if there's some kind of bickering back and forth between the services or not with that, but
Keep it fun.
Right?
she was Marine too. I'm sorry.
I said, you have to keep it fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I
challenge.
I see that, and when you get the Army, Air Force, Marines, Navy people together, I can see the how they go back and forth with each other. So I'm sure that's fun. That's pretty fun.
Like sibling,
But
you know.
but now, so um, for other, I guess for women veterans who may be interested in becoming an agent or just working for the FBI, what type of tips or advice can you give them? And like, how can they prepare themselves to be, I guess, accepted into the program? And Monique, can we start with you?
Sure. I touched on it a little bit earlier, but in addition, I'll say, you know, just listening to Luz, like her resiliency, like just her ability to just um, to stick with it, you know, and in spite of the challenges that she faced, like there's something that the military just drives in you, and I would hope that veterans they acknowledge that quality about themselves. Um, you know, practically, I would just say try to maintain your physical fitness, you know, for that initial entry, and and prepare yourself, even if you're just going to seek information informally at the FBI office. Prepare as if it were an interview, because you never know how that day might turn out, you know. um, Even if you're going to pick up a pamphlet, I don't care, you know, act as if it's the first day of testing. You know, you don't know um, who you might run into, who you may see, how that might affect your future chances of becoming an agent. So just be prepared, but again, know the qualities and the skill sets that the military has taught you, and be able to articulate that. I would say just know what you're prepared to do, know what you want when you walk into the FBI office. Know that it is what you want, because it's the military is it's a sacrifice, but the FBI is it's a sacrifice as well. I mean, being a part of this organization, you're asked to do um, a lot of things that you know. You know, that put your family, you have to put your family, um, uh, sometimes you can't do things with your family that you would want to do because the mission calls. um, Sometimes you can't um, do the social things or the travel or what have you because the mission calls. Um, so you know, be prepared to continue to sacrifice, but know that it's for a purpose and for, in my opinion, it's for a higher calling, in my opinion. But you know, you can still maintain that balance and get a lot of what's the word? Just there's just so much. You get so much. I get a lot of payback from it, from being a part of the organization. Just going home satisfied that I helped someone that day. You know, it's it's hard to explain how I feel when I feel I've accomplished a mission, when I feel I've helped someone that day, and I get to go home and face my children and say, you know what, I made a difference today. So I think a lot of the things that folks in the military feel while serving in the military, they'll find in the Bureau. It's not a military organization, but I think they'll find some similarities, and they'll find a home. They'll find a large veteran population that they can relate to, and just, you know, hopefully they know that there's a place for them in the FBI.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. And you can tell that there's some, I guess it could be emotional. I
Mhm.
guess being an agent because of what you see and the people that you help. So again, I'm sure it takes a lot of resiliency, like you mentioned that Ruth shared to be an agent. So especially a woman in the FBI. And Luce, you too, tell us a little bit about what you think that people can prepare for if they're interested in just maybe not becoming an agent, but just working in the professional role or mission support as for the FBI?
I would have to say, like Monique said, be prepared. Physically, of course, if you want to do the agent, and if you don't, the physical part is still important. I think it just helps you mentally, be more calm, be more alert, but I think the biggest thing would be your resume. I believe a lot of women veteran have done so much in the military, and sometimes we overlook that. We don't think that we've done a whole lot. But if you look back and you start writing down and noting down everything you did in the military, it could be a pretty long list that you can get a really good resume out of it. And, even there's help, in the military where you can get help to form that resume, put it together so that you can show all of your skills and all of your experience that you can bring to the FBI. And sometimes you don't know that, or you don't realize, oh no, I have done quite a bit. I bring quite a bit to the table. And definitely, if they want to work for the FBI, which I know there's a lot of people out there, especially a women veteran, go for it. Like I said, try, do your best. You bring a lot. There's a lot of experiences that you have that a lot of people have not experienced, and you do have a great group of coworkers that you work with. It's a great organization. There is a lot of veterans that you can relate with, like Monique said. And being a part of mission services also is not only administrative work. I think a lot of us think, well, I'll be just doing paperwork. No, it's really interesting. Just working with the cases, you are not limited to stay in a mission services position. There's other positions that open up that you can apply for, and there's a lot of collateral duties that you can apply to and belong to. I recently became part of the ERT team, and I've enjoyed going out there and helping them collect evidence and learning, the importance of collecting it and how we collect it and the whole process of it and how important it is, especially when these agents have to go to court and present that. And that's a big opportunity to do something else besides, your administrative work or anything else like that. And I get excited when I go out with the ERT team and help them. And I feel the same way Monique feels. You feel like, wow, I helped out today. I helped out in a different way, helping these agents collect all this evidence that they need, and there's more to FBI than if you look at it. You can't look at it as just an admin paper pushing a position. There's a lot more to it. It's very interesting, especially if you are seeking for this type of work and working for an organization like the FBI.
Okay. Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm hoping that some women veterans who are listening will take your stories and what you're saying and get rid of some of the myths about being FBI agents, especially women in the FBI, and pursue that. Because like I said, I know there are several who are on the fence when it comes to deciding whether or not this is an area that they want to pursue. So I'm encouraging them, and I'm glad that you're encouraging them also. So now looking back, is there anything that you would do differently, I guess, career-wise, whether it was, joining the military first or anything? Is there anything that you think that you would do differently, Monique?
Wow. I don't know if I'd do. There might be different steps I'd take to get places, but I don't know if I'd completely, do things totally differently. I'm just thinking of my move to Houston from DC. I spent probably 12 years in Washington DC, my first 12 years in the bureau. And we'd wanted to come back to Texas for so long because our family was here, and there was, we had a support structure, and that's important. In a job like this, having folks around you, especially family, that can come alongside you, and I have 3 children, so, and a husband, but, it takes a village. It seriously does. When you kind of have a high-speed career, even, with the military, in the military, you have to have like a family plan, right? Because you're constantly deploying. A lot's not different about the FBI. So we wanted to be here back with family, my husband's family. I'd been trying to get back to Houston for the longest time, and it just didn't work out for a while. And finally, an opportunity came up, and it happened to be, and this is where the conflict with family and career comes in. The opportunities and the circumstances just never seem to always match up. So you have to be willing and ready to make those tough decisions. But my oldest was in senior in high school, and a job opportunity came open in Houston, which is where every member of the family wanted to be. But not everybody in the family wanted to be there right at that moment, because she was a senior and she wanted to finish out her senior year. So we had to make a tough choice, and I had to travel to Houston alone, and the whole family stayed. In DC. My husband and the children and I was here, working a new job, trying to set up, find a home, find an area where there were schools for my 2 younger kids where they could go. And that was a lot. It was taxing on the family. It was taxing on me personally. It was taxing on my husband, and on the kids. There's a lot of travel back and forth. It was just, if I think of the most challenging part of my career, other than, work experiences, where I had to learn something new or whatever, but all around, that was probably the most challenging. But it turned out to be the best thing. It stretched us, but it didn't break us as a family. It taught us all a whole lot of different things, and taught my kids even more resiliency, and just help them to grow as well. But if I could do it differently, I wish there were other resources that I could put in, that I would lean on, to make that time easier for them, and easier for myself. I would have taken care of myself better physically, I think, because I poured myself into work way too much because my family wasn't here. I probably would have had a little more balance. So, it's those times where not everything is perfect. You're getting a lot of what you want, but you're not getting everything you want, where you just have to remember, you have to see the goal at the end of the line, and but still take care of yourself and those who are important to you all at the same time, especially as a working mom. You just, I don't know, you and use your resources. And I would just say that would probably be the thing that comes to mind when I think if I were to do anything differently, I'd probably use more resources that were at my, probably at my fingertips. And I just didn't think about it because there was so much going on. I'd probably take better care of myself. And yeah, that's probably it.
Okay. And Luz, what about you? Is there anything that you would do differently, either career-wise or make any changes?
I believe the career path I took and the experiences that I went through, along the way until I got to FBI, I think only helped me. And yes, there were, hard moments, hard times, but I think all of that in the end brings you to be ready to, at that time and moment when it came time for you to be with FBI or wherever, you ended up. I think to me, the only thing that I probably regret is probably maybe have tried to come into the FBI when I was a little bit younger. I came in, I was already older. And I think, I'm not sure if that would have helped me, physically, with my injuries and things like that. But I think if anything, I would have probably done the military a little bit younger, then probably have come into the FBI a little bit longer and would have been here longer. But then again, I can't say that would have happened because we don't know. Whatever path we took, eventually it led us to where we are at. And I think for the experiences that we experienced, from our culture, from our hard work that brought us, here, I think, we took the we made the best choices at the time, and I think it only helped us to get to where we are now, and bring whatever experience we had and struggles and learn from it, and still got here. I would say, like Monique, a single parent, your kids and having to deal with, your family being away. That's hard. That's hard. But I think as we've proven that we are strong women, and, we're resilient, and we're going to go for it. We're going to go, if that's our goal and that's who we want to work for and that's what we want to do, we're going to, always do our best. And I think our military experience, brings that out in us, because you just got to push. You got to push forward. You got to keep going, and until you get there. And we should be proud. We should be proud to where we're at now and what we've accomplished. No matter what paths we took, it got us here.
Thank you guys for sharing that. Wow. Your stories are amazing. I'm looking forward to your book, because I know both of you are going to have a book, right? Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I'm trying to get everybody to write a book. But so, is there anything that you all believe that I guess the recruiters can do to encourage or the recruitment process? And I know we're going to bring someone on who's going to talk more about recruiting, but is there anything that you believe that recruiters can do specifically for veterans or women veterans when it comes to being a part of the FBI? And we can start. Either one of you can start.
Luz, if you'd like to go.
Okay. Yes, I thought about that when I saw that question on there, and I said, "Oh, I'm not really sure." I see our recruiter in our office every day. We work out at the gym early mornings, and I'm not really certain as far as what she does as far as the focus for recruiting military veterans. I know we do a university recruitment where you go to the university. So my first thought was, and I don't know if we do it, Martha, or not. And I'm sure Martha will tell me, but maybe actually going to, we have a big Army base here, and maybe doing a recruitment at the base that focuses on, people that are soldiers that are about to get out of the military. There's a lot of officers that are, ready to get out and, seeing what they're able to do. And not only officers, enlisted. We never know. There's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of soldiers with skills and are, getting ready to leave. And they probably don't even think about FBI. You think sometimes, well, FBI is way up here. I don't think I can do that. But if we don't expose it and we don't share that, or go to the facility, go to the base and let them know what we're about and what the requirements are, it might encourage them to go ahead and, what, I'll apply, and I think to me that would be something that would definitely bring a lot of the military that's about to get out or retire, or that don't know what the FBI offers, and that they may qualify and make it. That's what came to mind.
Okay. And Monique?
I thought So I think that the FBI is doing a great job, I think, in recruiting veterans, at least from what I'm seeing and the amount of veterans that are coming in. And obviously we can always do more as far as veterans and underrepresented um, um,
Population.
just populations. But in uh, my last area where I worked, or where I was a supervisor in Beaumont, I know that I had several agents who were reservists as well. I mean, so they'd come in and they were agents. They're always agents, obviously, but they also did their reservist time um, and loyally. And the Bureau is so understanding about that, to where they can adhere to both of their responsibilities. And I know that with the recent wars that we've had, the Bureau's been really flexible, or not flexible, but just understanding about not every veteran is going to be 25 years old when they get out of the military, but they're still going to meet all of the qualifications, like the physical qualifications and what have you, when they get out. So I don't know. It's just I think that they've done a great job in keeping the door open for veterans and trying to recruit them, just from what I've seen coming through the door, because I've supervised quite a bit of veterans. But I would just add on to that. Um, not, I mean, there are a lot of males coming through the door that are veterans, but there are a lot of female veterans out there who have a lot of skill sets to offer. We're very good at the same things men are in the military, but we also are very good at we're great at time management, at dual tasking. Um, there are just so many, I think, and I'm very biased on that side, but at just managing multiple things at a time. And we also bring those leadership skills and the just a degree, I think, of care and concern for the people that we work with, that I think that sometimes is beyond measure, because that's what we're taught. But it also becomes a part of us. Like, we learn that in the military just because it's kind of what we do, but it becomes a part of you, that you care about the welfare of your people. And I think that's important anywhere. It's important in the FBI. I've taken it with me from the Marine Corps and brought it to the FBI, where my people are my concern. The mission is important, but without the people, you can't accomplish the mission. So I would just encourage the FBI to remember all of those kind of soft skills too, that veterans bring when they go out to their recruiting events, and just talk to them and get to know them, not just look at their paper, hear their experiences, not just see the wars they've been in or not been in, but hear their experiences and people they've come across. We've gone to different countries, and Luce, I'm sure she can relate, and fed people in Africa, or handed out books, you know what I mean, in Asia, or what, you know what I mean, just different things, so many different things where we've contributed to folks who need the United States in the world. I mean, those are important things that veterans offer. I don't know. That's, I would just say, look at the full package,
That was good. That was some great advice to me. And speaking of recruiting, before we have you go, we're definitely going to have you guys come back before we go. But we want to speak with one of the amazing recruiters with the FBI. She's absolutely amazing. I might be biased because
I love you, Monica. You pump me up all the time.
hello,
Yes.
Martha. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then let us know what you do when it comes to the recruiting process.
Okay, so I'm Special Agent Martha Terrazas. I am the recruiter for the FBI El Paso field office. I've been with the FBI 18 years. Wow, it seems like just yesterday. I'm listening to Luz speak, and brings back all the academy and the years and working different violations. But yes, I am now the recruiter for the FBI field office, and that's what I want to talk a little bit about recruitment and recruitment of military veterans in the FBI. So a lot of military personnel make the switch from GI to G-men. And that's great news because the FBI wants veterans. We need veterans. Veterans do get special consideration when joining the FBI, like most other government jobs. If the veteran has an honorable discharge or a service-connected disability and a DD-214, then they can be eligible for a 10-point preference. This also makes them eligible for an age waiver if they do apply for the FBI after their 37th birthday as a special agent. The day before one's 37th birthday is normally the cutoff date for any new law enforcement officer at the Department of Justice. But preference eligible veterans can get this waived if they pass all other sections of the special agent application process and give 10 years of service. Veterans who have a valid top secret security clearance and are already ahead of the game because that's one of the FBI's non-negotiables. The special agent selection system is a rigorous way of pulling the best of the best into the FBI. So there are things that the FBI requires, and that's a bachelor's degree, being a U.S. citizen, passing a physical fitness test, a polygraph examination, and a rigorous background investigation. Those are just the basics. The FBI received over 40,000 applications in 2022 for approximately 900 special agent jobs. So be sure to take special care when filling out the knowledge, skills, and abilities portion of your application. You will also be given a full local and national background check to receive that security clearance. Then you will fill out an SF-86 form, which is which is needed for the background investigation and your top secret security clearance. All veterans know from their time in service that it's important to be brutally honest on this form, because not being honest is a violation of the FBI's core values. So there is a lot of information on our website, but there's also some awesome YouTube videos that I've seen that I really like, that are really very, very real. There's some in particular, and it's special to do with a special agent selection system. Also becoming an agent the first week, where they follow applicants, new agent trainees during that first week, and then becoming a special agent, fulfilling the dream, and then becoming an agent, an inside look at physical fitness, PFT protocol, because of course it's physically rigorous at new agent training and at the academy. Also, there's a podcast, Inside the FBI and Living the FBI Mission. So, there is approximately 6,000 veterans in the FBI. Okay, so ways in which I wanted kind of to let you know how it is that we reach out, because you said how is it better to reach out to veterans and to let them know about the FBI and to hire more veterans. So the FBI field office participates in an event every year. It's called Hiring Red, White, and You. It's a statewide hiring event that connects veterans, transitioning military members, and military spouses to employees across Texas. This has been happening. This event has been going on since 2012. So every year the FBI participates in this event. So This year, I believe it's going to take place in November. So look for it, because we do advertise. We do. I know that Jeanette's amazing at tweeting and, you know, letting everybody know what events we have going. So look for it. It is an amazing event. And so far in the time that it's, you know, that it's been happening, it has worked with more than 18,000 employers, connected more than 108,000 job seekers, and helped facilitate over 2,800 same-day hires. So it's not just the FBI. It's different organizations, different local, state, and government agencies. So it really is a great event. I recommend that one. We also, you know, we have a military base. So we work very closely with Fort Bliss. They also have an annual hiring fair. It is a big hiring fair, but we also work with the employment readiness program. At Fort Bliss, we just, for Women's History Week, we actually had an event there, a recruitment event that month for not only for female military veterans, but also for spouses, which I think was amazing. We also work with the Texas Veterans Commission, and of course with our community. Anybody who invites us or asks us to come and, you know, give a presentation or talk about the requirements of the FBI, or anything to do with more information about the FBI and our requirements and what we need, you know, for hiring, we are more than welcome to attend. You know me, Monica, I'll go anywhere. So that's a little bit about, you know, the FBI, recruitment, veterans, and what it is that we do to reach them.
Okay.
So anything else?
No, I'm sure I'll have other questions later, but I do know, and I'm not sure if you were given information on it or not, but there is a women's veterans brunch that's coming up, that was actually started by one of our writers, Alexis McCrae, and I think she went through the FBI Citizens Academy, and she's a veteran. And that's taking place, I think, on the 10th of this month, and we'll be providing more information about that too.
And hey, Monica, guess who's going to be there? This recruiter. I will be there. You know, I wanted to tell you about one more recruitment event that we've been having, that we had here at the field office for special agents. We did a coffee with a special agent at a Starbucks. It's actually a national initiative. It's coffee with a cup, but we kind of geared it to us, and we're like coffee with an agent. So I know that there is a Starbucks on base. So I would love to do, I'm going to propose it. It's coffee with a veteran or coffee with the military. You know, something catchy like that. So that look for it, because it'll be in the works.
Okay, I think that would be great. Thank you, Martha. Well, before we go, we want to give Monique and Luz an opportunity to share some last words or encouragement to our many women veterans who are in the community, and also if you can share just a little bit about how you feel about, you know, the community and the nation in general honoring women veterans this month.
I just like to say, I mean, I appreciate what they do every day. I know that I can't do what I do without them. I can't do what I do without their sacrifices and that of their families. You know, I am glad, and glad is it is not the word that I want to use. I'm beyond that. I'm just appreciative of the fact that the country recognizes women veterans. I mean, we're such a force within the military, but you know, the current women who are serving now and veterans who have served. I mean, I cannot thank you enough for your service. Because I know what it's like to give all that you have for someone else, and to put someone in front of yourself. And I can't thank you enough. And I hope that you seriously consider joining the Bureau, because we need many more like you here in the Bureau to do the great work that I know that you've done in the military. So thank you.
Thank you. And Luz?
I have to agree. Definitely, you women veterans, thank you for your service. And Monique and I understand where you're at, where you're coming from, what you've been through and what you're going through. And definitely encourage you all to join the Bureau, at least inform yourself and go from there. You have more to offer than what you think. And we would really, really welcome you to come in and work with us and join us. And all I can say is thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you that the military does appreciate the women in the military. And we have this month to celebrate it. And reach out to a recruiter. They will answer all your questions. Any doubts, just reach out to them.
Okay. Well, I really, really appreciate you both for being on today. And again, thank you for your service. Happy Women's Veterans Month. And we look forward to you joining us again. I'm sure we have several topics that you all will be able to come back on and share with us. So again, we appreciate you for your service.
Thank you for doing this. That's so kind. I appreciate that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.